Alright guys, I haven't been recording like I wish I would. A lot of this stuff, it's 15-20 minutes here and there after work. Lately after work it's been raining, so like today it's just random downpour for half hour. And anyway, back to the four-wheeler. So what have I done? New stator, new flywheel. On these, the flywheel tends to, the magnets come unglued, and there's an upgraded flywheel. There's an upgraded flywheel I put in that the magnets are encased, so I put that in. New starter solenoid. Then it still wouldn't start, and I traced it back to not the button, but down in there somewhere is a connection, and the terminals were rusted apart. So I was getting like 2 volts at the starter button, and you know I should be getting 12. How I found that out is I started here at the fuse box. I found the one for ignition. I tested one side of it, I had 12 volts. Tested the other side of it, had 12 volts. So then I went up to the starter button, had this all apart, tested one side of it, had like 2-ish volts, tested the other side, nothing. So I knew from there to there had to be something broken. Now I assumed it was anyway. My daughter was whining for no reason. She wanted to go back inside. Okay, so let me start over. Had 12 volts on one side of the ignition fuse and on the other side of the ignition fuse. So I knew from this fuse box there's a wire that travels up to the switch. Well, I then tested both sides of the switch, and one side had like 2, maybe 3 volts. The other side had nothing. Actually, I think it was like 0.2 volts. The other side had nothing. So I knew somewhere in here there had to be a wire that was broken. So I started like looking, and I was like, oh man, if it's broken in here, I'm gonna be very upset. But I found that there's a connector, like a 6-pin connector, up in here that controls all of that. Well, I knew that, you know, my other buttons were good, my lights and stuff. So I knew that it wasn't the whole wire that was messed up. There's a connector down in there. Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to see. I had this all apart. I tried to reach in there from this way. That's not the connector I'm talking about, it's up higher. Anyway, I took that all apart, put that back together. That was not fun, because there was like, between the wire harness and like the clip was like that much, maybe 2 inches of wire to work with. So it was like cramped in there, like sitting up here working in there. Little room, so there was swear words to be said. Yeah, so now that works. What else did I replace? RM Stator has a full kit for the Arctic Cat 400, and I think it's a Suzuki Eiger 400. They're basically the same thing. So it has a whole kit, right? It has the gasket, it has the flywheel, they have the stator, they have the CDI and the rectifier. So I bought the one without the CDI. Anyway, so I bought the one without the CDI because the CDI it makes the price a lot more. So basically that gets replaced. I don't know if this is OEM or what, but the one that RM Stator provides is significantly bigger. As you can see, I could only hook it up to one of the mounts. The starter solenoid I got is just an eBay one, or maybe Amazon, but it's actually decent quality and fits in the same spot, and the connection's the same. I had to move the pins a little so they lined up better, but so all my connections down here have dielectric grease in them to ward away the water like witchcraft. So I think that's about everything that I've done to it so far. Starter solenoids. The starter is, I want to say eBay, but it could be an Amazon one. Just a cheap one. The rebuild kit for the starter was like $10 less than buying the whole new starter. So I just went and bought the whole new one. But now, as you can see, we got lights. I don't know if the reverse light works, or the oil light works, or the headlight works. I don't think the headlight one works, but been doing cleaning, so stuff's burning off yet. So I also got the aftermarket tires on. So some of them, these two have tubes in them because there was rust around the edges of the bead. So those ones are perfectly fine, like you'd expect. This one is jacked up because I didn't want it to pop off the bead, but that one leaks. This one, that one's still good, but we're gonna bring these two in and get tubes put in just because I might as well spend the money on it and do it right. Well, right would be, you know, redoing the wheel, but so yeah, we got the Arctic Cat going. I see that's dripping a little, but maybe put a new connector on there. So from here we have a ton of other parts to put on. I have one of these, a new one of these to put on. But to take that apart, I have to disconnect it down there somewhere. I forget how that comes apart. Yeah, but I have new shock bushings. While I take that off, I am going to hit the rust with spray paint. I'll try and, you know, take a wire wheel to it first, get as much off as I can, but then I'll hit the rust with some spray paint just to protect it a little for future. Where was I going? What else? Oh, exhaust gasket I have. I really hate how rusty the exhaust is, but I don't want to put an aftermarket exhaust on and make it really loud. Maybe we'll see if we can do something with this. I'd hate to just spray paint it, but what else have we done here? Do we have to do yet? I spray painted that up a little bit. Looks a lot better than it did when it was rusty. I know it'll probably just come off with, you know, use, but it's better than exposed rust. Somewhat of protection, right? New wheel bearings we have. We still have to put them in. I've never done wheel bearings on an ATV before, but I imagine it's not super bad with the right tools. I think this brake works. No. So we're gonna have to play with this brake. See, maybe it just needs a little grease down there. Yeah, it probably just needs a little grease down there because it's popping back up. I've been cleaning up the engine area as much as possible. But yeah, so there's really not a whole lot that I'd like to show on the channel, but you know, if you got questions about how I've done any of this, I'd be happy to share. You know, RM Stator has an awesome video, so I'm not like doing a tutorial on something that's already done. They've got a really great tutorial. I didn't use it completely, but I watched, like, glanced through it. Yeah, so wheel bearings, bushings, there's a bunch of other little stuff that I bought, like random normal maintenance type of stuff that you should replace, that we'll be doing. But pretty soon this will go to its new home, and it'll be all put back together. I will be redoing the seat. As you can see, it's seen better days. It's seen a lot of water recently too, so I'll have to dry that out. But I'll be redoing the seat. I might make a video on that, or I'm not sure if I'm gonna make this all one video or just kind of release it as I'm doing it. Seems like most people on YouTube try and do a whole big video series on one project at a time, but you know, I kind of like to upload as I go, so that's probably what I'll do. So yeah, I'm probably gonna upload this tonight, and it's like August 3rd, so you'll probably see this August 3rd, or you know, 10 years later. But yeah, I'm gonna upload this right away tonight, and you know, more updates as it comes. You know, I might show a brief of doing wheel bearings or shock bushings, or I forget any of the other parts I bought, but I bought a lot of parts for this. Anyway, that's all I have for you for the Arctic Cat video. If you like this stuff, let me know. If you have questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer. I do reply to any questions on my comments. Yeah, so that's what I got going for the Arctic Cat. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.